Hi, ladies. Just gonna check. So when you come in, if you're gonna make comments or ask questions, um, I can see your comments easier if you allow StreamYard, and if not, then I'm just gonna check from my phone. So just let me grab that here. But today we are going to talk about stress. There we go. We're going to talk about stress and the effects that it has on your body and ways to deal with stress. Now, I've had a lot of people lately tell me that they have a lot of stress in their life. There's a lot of emotional things going on. So I really want, hi Rachel, I really want to address that because I think it's really important. So first of all, we're going to talk about the effects that it has on your body. And oh my gosh, there's so many things that it can affect. And I've had a lot of these. At one point, my stress levels were so high, I had to go on medical leave. And that was 6 years ago. Things have changed so much in 6 years. So it can increase your cortisol production. And that is the stress hormone. A little bit of cortisol is good because it helps you deal with things. But if you have too much of it, it's actually associated with weight gain around the belly. So if you notice that you don't seem to gain weight anywhere else and it's all around the belly, then definitely look at how much stress is in your life. And then when you're under stress, your digestive system shuts down, therefore you're not absorbing the nutrients from your food properly. And then that means all of the other organs aren't functioning properly. So your gallbladder, your gastrointestinal tract, it just leads to a whole host of problems. And then you start excreting calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, chromium, selenium, and other minerals because your body can't absorb the nutrients, so it's just going to flush it out. And then your intestinal tract isn't healthy. You can retain fluids. It decreases your thyroid hormone. It increases your cholesterol. It can decrease your sex drive. You can have missed periods. It can cause fertility problems, an increase in inflammation, irritable bowel, like it just goes on and on. You can have an increase in food sensitivities, which I noticed, and even an increase of sensitivities to smells and certain chemicals. I noticed that when I was sick as well. Hi, Rose. Insulin resistance, just premature aging of the body, increased risk of osteoporosis. Like it goes on and on and on. So then let's talk about the other body problems that the stress causes. So you may find that you have headaches all the time. You may have muscle tension. You may have pain. Some people have chest pain because they have anxiety. You could be tired all the time. Your stomach could be upset, and you could either sleep all the time or not sleep enough. Then it affects your mood. So you can have anxiety. You can feel restless or agitated on the other hand. No motivation, no focus, overwhelmed, irritable, angry, sad, depressed. And then, so the way your body feels, it affects your mood, and then that affects your behaviors. So you may eat too much, or you may not eat enough. Some people, when they're stressed out, they stress eat and they want to eat all of the food. Other people, when they're stressed out, they don't want to eat at all. You may find that you're having angry outbursts. People are getting on your nerves more than normal. Some people turn to drugs, alcohol, smoking. Some people withdraw socially because they just can't function in a large group of people, and they would rather just stay home and hibernate. A lot of people do that in the wintertime. And then that also, you end up having less exercise, less movement. You just don't have the energy to get moving and doing things. So now that we're in all of the depressed stuff of what stress does, what can we do to overcome stress? You can't get rid of all the stress in your life, but you can deal with some of the stressors. So yesterday I talked about how we have 30,000 thoughts in a day, and that translates to about 20 thoughts a minute. So if you find yourself having negative thoughts, think about it in the grand scheme of things. I'm having one negative thought. Does that need to control the other 30,000 thoughts that I have today? So even though you have a negative thought, you can consciously, whether you do it in your mind or whether you write it down, consciously reframe that. So do some cognitive behavior therapy. My negative thought is this. How can I reframe that to be a positive thought? My negative thought is this. Is there truth to that? Or what is the real truth? Allow yourself some time to sit down and relax. Sometimes when we're stressed out, we're going. And we feel guilty for relaxing. We feel guilty for taking time for ourselves. And this afternoon, I'm going to be talking to Stephanie Richstammer, I think is the way to pronounce it. I can't remember. So we'll be talking to her this afternoon, and we're going to talk about living the guilt-free life, taking that time for yourself without feeling guilty. So it's really important to sit down and relax when you're feeling stressed out. Don't keep pushing yourself. And I don't want to hear, I don't have enough time, because I guarantee you do have time. If you sleep 8 hours a night, you have 16 hours left in the day. You have time to even take 5 minutes. Hi, Karen. You have time to take 5 minutes, go in a room by yourself and just sit and do nothing. Karen says, I need this. Good. And laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. There's even a proverb that says laughter does good like a medicine. If there's nothing to laugh about in your life, you need to add some fun. So maybe that means you get lost in the YouTube vortex for a little while watching cat videos or baby goat videos, or the pygmy goats. Oh my gosh. Rachel, I don't know if you guys still have goats at your place right now, but where Rachel lives, they have a few animals in the backyard, and they sometimes have goats and even chickens. Like, they're hilarious. So find something that you can do to relieve some of that stress and just allow yourself to laugh. When was the last time you laughed so hard you were crying? That if you need a really good laugh, my daughter posted a video yesterday of my granddaughter, who's a year old, and she was sitting in her high chair. She'd been eating, so she didn't have her shirt on, and she's grabbing for her belly and like pinching the little rolls, and she's reaching down trying to munch on her belly. It's hilarious. So if you need something funny to watch, I'll give it to you. But that's why we do Silly Saturday, to help you remember to have fun. So it may even be going on Instagram or Messenger and recording with funny filters and make your face look silly, or do it to other people. Do it to your spouse or a friend of yours, and just hold your phone and put it on them and just see. I did it to my mom one night. We were in the restaurant and I kept doing it. Oh my gosh, the faces she was making with the filters, we were laughing so hard. So do that. Do some deep breathing. Allow yourself to sit and relax, and then just do some deep breaths. the deep breathing tricks your body into thinking that you're relaxed. And you'll notice when you start doing the deep breathing exercises, you can actually feel your body just start to calm down. If you are able to, go get a massage. I'm fortunate and blessed that I have a husband who massages my back every night. Um, and over the last, well, we've been married now almost 4 years, 5 years, almost 5 years. And I've noticed over the last 5 years that where before I had the tense muscles, when he massages my back, that just relieves a lot of that tension. And if he doesn't do it one night, I actually can notice a difference. And let go of control. You don't have to have control of everything in your life. I know it makes you feel, by trying to control everything, it makes you feel like you have control. But in actual reality, trying to control everything has you out of control. If that makes sense. Like, think about, I can't think of anything offhand, but when you try and control all the things that are going on around you, like, you can't control other people. So really what it does is just, it makes you crazy trying to have control. So you really don't have control, because that's when you start losing your cool and you get stressed out and you just can't handle it. And stop avoiding. So if you keep going, sometimes it's because there's something you need to deal with and you're avoiding dealing with it. Maybe there's something going on at work and you don't want to deal with the confrontation. Maybe there's something between you and a friend, or you and a spouse, or you and a kid. You don't want to deal with it because you don't want the confrontation, because you're already feeling stressed, and the thought of a confrontation just sends your stress levels really high. But if you can make a plan of action of how you want to discuss this, and then confront it head on, not from a place of of control or anger or even rudeness, but just very calm, planned out discussion. When this happens, I feel like this. And sometimes people don't know that they're doing something to upset you. And then when you tell them, then they're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Also, letting go of some of the things around your house. So I've talked to a number of women, and they stay at home and they have the kids and all of this stuff that they're doing. The husband works outside of the home. So they've taken on the traditional roles. Hubby does the outside stuff, and wifey does the indoor stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, looking after the kids. And that's fine as long as it's working for you. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, there's nothing wrong with going up to your husband and not demanding, but going up to him, giving him a hug, giving him a kiss, and say, you know what, honey, I'm feeling really overwhelmed lately. Is there something that you would be able to help me with? Like, if could you help me with the dishes at night, or could you help prep the meal, cut the vegetables? Sometimes I used to get mad at my ex because he'd be sitting on the couch watching TV and I'm doing all the things. Well, he was oblivious. He didn't know that anything needed to be done. So he was just sitting there enjoying himself. I never thought to ask him to help me. Chances are with him, he may not have helped me anyway, but you don't know unless you ask, right? But most husbands, if you ask them, hey, honey, could you do this for me? They're going to go, oh, yeah, sure, because they just don't know what needs to be done. So another tip to relieve stress is organization. So take a look at things in your house. Oftentimes when we're under a lot of stress, our house is a mess. So that added clutter adds to the stress. Now, I know it's overwhelming when you're stressed out to now go through and clean the entire house. And I don't suggest that. What I suggest is to take 5 minutes at a time. So maybe once or twice in the morning, once or twice in the afternoon, once or twice in the evening, only for 5 minutes. You set a timer. When that timer goes off, then you're done. And you go on to the next thing. A little while later, you're going to set the timer for 5 minutes again. Because honestly, you can do anything if it's just for 5 minutes. And that relieves a lot of that stress and a lot of that pressure. But also take a look at your schedule. Have you got too many things going on? I have a friend and her kids are in everything. Their calendar is like go, 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 go all day. And they're not that old. The kids aren't. Is it really necessary to do all of those things, to have yourself running like a chicken with your head cut off all the time? Are there things on your schedule that you can say, you know what, this isn't in alignment with what we want to do right now? And just remove it. It doesn't mean you have to remove it forever, but if for you right now it's not working, then stop doing it. You don't owe anything to anybody else. So learning to say no. Listen to some music. If you're feeling really stressed out, put some music on. Take up a hobby. I, at one point, was crocheting all the time because it helped relax me. It forced me to sit down. At that point, if I sat down without doing anything, I would just fall asleep. So if I kept myself busy, then I was still forcing myself to sit down and relax. And the crocheting for me was relaxing. I didn't do any fancy patterns. I was just crocheting like row after row, something very simple. Play some games. Have a family games night. Maybe that's stressful, but make it a simple game. So once a week, you know what? Having a games night is great to teach your kids how to get used to losing. And don't let your kids win, whatever you do. Let them understand that sometimes you're going to lose. It's a good teaching moment, but it's a good time to just have fun and giggle and laugh. Switch things up. You get into a routine, you're doing the same thing day after day after day. And the mundane just becomes stressful in itself. Or the boring life of same old, same old. So switch it up once in a while. If you, what can I think of? I don't know. Just change your schedule around. Think of ways that you can switch things up so it doesn't have to be the same every day, so that you can have something new coming up and you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed the night before and you go, oh, I'm doing this new thing today, this different thing. And then you have something to look forward to make you happy. Hi, Rosie. Problem solve. So if you have got too much on the go and you're feeling stressed and you're feeling angry, take a step back and think about why you're feeling that way. What can I do to change things up? So if doing this is making me feel this way, what can I do instead of it? If making breakfast every morning stresses me out because everybody is in my head, they're hungry, they're trying to find the right clothes to wear, they're whatever, it's just, or you woke up late and now you're rushing around the house trying to get ready for work. What can you do to change the attitude of the morning? What can you do to change the atmosphere? Maybe that means preparing some breakfast the night before. So doing the egg muffins, which I've posted about in the group. So they can be prepared ahead of time. You can do up a whole dozen of them. And then you just throw it on an English muffin. Very simple. You can do breakfast casseroles. You can do overnight oats. You can have dinner for breakfast, so you can have leftovers. Have snack foods for breakfast, things that you can just pick at while you're getting ready for work. Or plan ahead, prepare it the night before, and then wait until you get to work to eat it. Just try and find ways to switch things up to relieve some of that stress that you have. And then a support system. So you need to have a strong support system, an encouraging group of people, or and even one encourager in your life. So if that's not the people in your family, maybe it's a girlfriend. If it's not a girlfriend, maybe it's your outside family. Maybe it's somebody in your church. Try and find somebody who can be a support system for you. And, you know, I'm here. If you're looking for a coach, that's what I do. I am your support system. I help you walk through all of these mindset issues. It's not just about the food that we eat. The food is important. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's really important. But the mindset and why you do what you do is also really, really important. And sometimes we need somebody to walk us through that. I just thought of something else, and now I lost it again. It was about support system. I can't think of it. So if I think of it later, I'll put it in the comments. I also have, let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, share screen. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, no. Okay, I'm trying to share this. Oh, there we go. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is a check-in that you can do. If you're really stressed out, I want you to take a look at this. I'm pretty sure it's posted in the group in the file section. If not, yeah, you're not seeing this. Oh dear. Okay. Well, so it's a stress check-in. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Application window. Okay, here we go. Share. Okay, so here is a stress check-in. You look at what your stress level is right now. So if you're feeling great, then strengthen that state. If you feel great, then you want to stay in that state. So take a deep breath, sit or stand up straight, and just enjoy feeling great. If you're just feeling good, then there's a list of things. How do I feel? Am I angry, guilty, hungry, sick? Do I feel secure, rested, loving? So go through all of those. What is your strongest feeling? What do you need? And do you need support? State 3 is when you're feeling a little bit stressed. So that's when you start to need to clear away some of the negative feelings so that you're more aware of the positive feelings that are under them. And this is what I really like. I feel angry that, and then write down why you feel angry. Write down why you feel sad, why you're afraid, why you feel guilty. And you know what? A lot of times when something's bugging us, we probably have a lot of those negative feelings. So when you're angry, it could also be an underlying sadness or fear or a feeling of guilt. And then I feel grateful that, I'm happy that. So you see how we're switching from the negative feelings over into the positive feelings. And then state 4 is when you're definitely stressed. So in state 4, we're not talking about feelings. It's just facts. Why are you stressed? And write down the facts. Then you can express your feelings. And you see, even in here, in this one, I feel angry. And angry is written in capital letters because now you want to feel those emotions strongly. And then the 5th one is when you're completely stressed out. Now it's just damage control. Now you, now it's time to just sit back and really work on yourself. So you don't want to judge yourself, and you repeat these things to yourself. And I know some people think that mantras and things like that are a little woo-woo, but if you're at that point, it's important to either write these out or say them to yourself. I will not judge myself. I won't judge others. I need to minimize harm. And the really important thing is you need to know that it will pass. It is going to get better. Think of all of the moments in your life that you've been stressed out, and you have gotten better, right? You haven't lived in a stressed out state for all of your 30, 40, 50 years. It does get better at some point. So recognize it's not going to happen forever. You're not going to be in this state forever. You can turn it around. It will turn around. It may seem overwhelming, but you're not going to be there forever. And like I said, if you need extra support, please reach out to me and we'll talk. I'm happy to work with you, because ditch the diet isn't just about the diet. That's why we ditch the diet. It's about learning what to eat, but then on top of that, it's learning to be motivated and focused and deal with the emotional eating and the cravings and the binging and the dealing with stress and dealing with all of the emotional stuff that is going on. Because if you don't get those things under control, then it doesn't matter what diet you follow, you're never gonna stick to it. You're never gonna keep that weight off. Weight loss isn't about weight loss. Weight loss is about all of the emotions that are going with that. Weight loss is about all of the things that you can gain when you lose weight. So you gain your life back, you gain that control and that the being able to dream again, and just being happy and joyful and living the fulfilled life, living an abundant life. That's what you gain when you lose weight. And that reminded me of the other thing that I was thinking of in dealing with stress is to increase your movement. I'm not saying increase exercise. If you're already stressed out and now you try and go do a full gym routine, that's going to stress you out even more. But you don't want to be sitting on the couch being a couch potato all day either. You want to be able to increase some movement into your life. Maybe it means watching a YouTube video that's a dance routine and do that. Go outside, walk around the house, maybe sweep the floors or vacuum or clean the bathroom. Just something that's going to have your body moving so that you're not sitting in a chair and feeling the effects of atrophy. You know how it is. You sit in the chair for 3-4 hours and then you get up and you're like, oh, my body's so stiff. You don't want to do that. So even if you have to set a timer on your phone for every hour to remind you, I did this for a while. And I actually had a recording of my grandson telling me to walk. He was just 2 years old, and he wanted me to follow him around the kitchen as he pulled his little toy, and he kept saying, Mama, walk. So I recorded it, and then I had that go off every hour to remind me to get up from my chair and go for a walk around the house or go do something. So maybe that's what you need to do. And make sure that you're drinking all of your water. Not drinking enough water can actually mimic hunger, and your body needs the water to function properly, for all of your organs to function properly, for digestion to work. It helps relieve some of the headaches and the stress. I can't tell you enough how important the water is. If I don't get enough water in, I feel bloated the next day, and I can see it on the scales. So I hope that has been helpful for you. Like I said, if you have anything that you want to talk to me about, please reach out to me. You know I'm here. And for the month of March, everybody has an opportunity to have a 15-minute call with me. No obligation call, no pitch call. If It is honestly, I want to help you. So if you want to book a 15-minute call with me to talk about whatever it is that you're struggling with, and no pitch from me at the end, reach out to me and I will give you the link to schedule a call. I'd love to talk with you. So we have 340 people in this group. My goal is to do, well, ultimately I'd like to do 340, but I do have some family in here. So even if I could do 300 15-minute calls, that would be amazing. But I know that's not going to happen, but I want to do as many of those calls as I can. So if that's something that would interest you, please reach out to me. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to remain in this group for the next 24 hours, and then I will be moving this masterclass training over to the VIP membership group for the paid members, but you will have access to it for the next 24 hours. So if you need to rewatch it and take some notes, then do that. All right. Thank you again for joining me. Have a wonderful day and take some time to smile.